much. I apologize that my German is not sufficiently fluent to give a presentation, but let me tell you a brief story. I used to work for Nokia. You all know what that company is. But that company in 1991, it was in a huge trouble. It was almost in the conditions of bankruptcy. So what then happened was that there was a visionary leadership who understood that there are out there disruptions, there are opportunities in the marketplace, and then they looked at the different options. And why did they pick up mobile communication? There were two reasons. First, they understood that this was the growth area. This was the area where the market were growing fastest. And secondly, that the existing knowledge base that Nokia had was closest to the top world level. So, competence and market opportunity were combined, and the rest is history. Of course, all this was supported by the liberalization of the European telecom market, which actually facilitated the market growth, as well as the adoption of the GSM standard, which was the first European-wide communication standard, which, as we all know, became the global standard. And that facilitated that Europe was a leading region in mobile communications almost for 20 years. Now, today, we are in an exactly similar kind of situation. We are struggling with growth, and we are seeking new opportunities for growth and jobs. And in this situation, we are also facing a similar kind of revolution, the ICT revolution. Digitalization is changing everything. When we move on to cloud computing, when we see what the convergence will bring, what the ultra-fast broadband, and so forth and so forth. I'm not going into details. But ultimately, that will change our industries, manufacturing, media, energy. That will change the working life. We nowadays talk about, with my students, e-lancers. They are not freelancers, they are e-lancers. And that describes how they see their future. That they are selling their services and competencies through the internet throughout the world. And this is the future work opportunity. If we think about our daily life, of course our homes will change as well. We will be able remotely to control our home. We can lower the temperature when we are staying away and put a temperature higher up when we are arriving back home. We can have our devices to communicate with each other so that they can control and inform us about if something is missing from our fridge, so that when we are coming back home, so we know which shop, what to buy from the shop. And finally, we will see the emergence of electricity internet, which will allow people to produce electricity and consume electricity exactly the same way as they today are creating knowledge as well as utilizing knowledge from the internet itself. So this basically means that our societies are going currently through a very, very fundamental change. And unfortunately, we don't yet fully understand what all this will mean. And therefore, this kind of discussion about digital agenda is vitally important. Because if we fail, it means that we will only see the negative parts. But the digital agenda, thinking about these kind of things, understanding what digitalization means and what are the opportunities there, will allow us an opportunity to create new businesses, to enrich our lives in the way that is beneficial for the whole society. But this, of course, in many respects requires collaboration. We need European-wide approaches in many of these areas. I'm very proud of being able to lead a Horizon 2020 project, Industrial Internet in Transition, which is exploring how the innovation processes in companies are able to benefit from the ICT revolution. This is covering 11 European countries, including Germany. So we will explore how the German companies have been able to benefit from the digitalization in their innovation processes. But all this will require a blood circulation. That is the infrastructure. And in this area, Finland has been one of the leading countries in Europe and also worldwide. We today have a broadband at least 30 megabit connection to 53% of our homes with less than 21 euros per month. And this allows a huge opportunity for people to utilize the opportunities of digitalization, but also for business to develop their online businesses, because now they have enough capacity to deal with these matters. And as part of this exercise, Finland is currently building a Baltic Sea cable. We call it the Sea Lion, which is connecting Germany, Frankfurt to Helsinki, and will provide us 8 cable pairs, each representing 15 terabytes per second transmission capacity, which means that the data speeds between Central Europe and Finland will be tenfold compared to the existing conditions. We are very happy that a company called Hetzner Online has already made the decision to invest in this, and therefore there is already an example how Germany and Finland can collaborate. I just want to give you one additional example. I have built in my home a cloud. I have my own server, my son has his own server, and my daughter, who is living in London, has her server. And all this is connected so that we can all use the same cloud, but that requires at least 30 megabit connection, uplink and downlink. Because if you want to share pictures and videos, you have to be able to deliver both upstream and downstream in order to be able to benefit that. So, in a nutshell, we need to make this digital agenda a European-wide effort, but I believe that Germany and Finland could be one of the drivers of this thinking and this transformation. Both countries have a good legacy. We have a lot of common interests. There are a number of companies working in both countries, and thereby the two countries could, in fact, show the way for the rest of the Europe in order to become digitalized societies in a positive manner. Thank you.